Hello, everyone. Another great day. I think I didn't record yesterday. Uh, maybe? I don't remember. What did I do all yesterday? Who knows? I'm not going to record tomorrow. I'm starting to prepare to go on my trip April 2nd for 20 months traveling around the world. So I want to put more time into that and also the things I want to do within the day, um, other priorities as well. So even though I did miss yesterday, I do want to keep with the Sunday of not recording because there's other things that, like I said, the prepping that is pretty important right now, and I want to get done before April 2nd comes. So that being said, that being said, let's get right into this one. This one, I think it's going to be thinking a little bit through my thoughts because I've been thinking a lot about beauty. What does beauty mean? What does it mean to us? And how do we use it in modern culture? Because I think modern culture has diluted the word beauty into, well, any beautiful woman you see, you say they're beautiful. But I think we need to start distinguishing beautiful from sexy, from pretty, from gorgeous, from cute. I'm not saying women can't be beautiful, but I think we also use the word beautiful for things that are awe-inspiring, that are almost true to nature and don't even need to be validated. So, for example, seeing a sunrise, it's beautiful. Seeing some part of nature that is grand and awe-inspiring, like I said, is also can be considered beautiful. So, I think it's important, well, for me specifically, to think through these ideas, but in this one, to distinguish between what makes beauty beauty and what makes gorgeous, pretty, sexy, and cute separate from that. And I think a good definition for beauty is, well, not a good definition. I think for beauty, it is something that is maybe I should explain the other ones first because it's pretty hard. I want to say beauty doesn't need validation, which is true. It's, I think Sonia Sontag talked a little bit about in her work about how, what was it, the difference between true beauty in art and art in institutions. How we in institutions we like to judge, we like to uh, give critiques, give criticism, give constructive feedback, and also praise as well. She distinguishes that something you'd find in a museum, something you'd find in a magazine or something like that, that validation, that critique, that criticism, with art and beauty, I would say, beauty in everyday life. One thing she says is you wouldn't call a sunset interesting, you'd call it beautiful. And it's that separation. between the judgments and the validations that we give to art. We give to a lot of women who are gorgeous, who are pretty, and yet that being different from something like a sunset, which doesn't need any validation to be beautiful. It just is. It's almost the truth of reality. And beauty is one of those things that I want to dig more into because I don't think I have a great grasp of it. But for me, so one other thing before we get into women and beauty. I think beauty and the sublime are interconnected. I don't think you can talk about beauty without talking about the sublime. And the sublime being something that is, I think, like I was saying, awe-inspiring, that is beyond our ability to explain. It's almost unexplainable in its awe. And I think that's the sublime. And I think beauty is pretty much the same thing. We have words to explain. I mean, I don't think there's enough words to explain the full magnitude of what you feel when you're in the presence of beauty. I think a lot of people have tried and they've done a pretty good whack at it. But in the end of the day, beauty is I think, an interwoven part of reality, where reality is quite unexplainable. We can do our best to explain it. Words being those symbols we use to communicate to other people how we're feeling, the world we live in. But at the end of the day, they're only symbols for the actual truth of reality. And I think that's the same with beauty. We use words, these symbols, to represent the truth or the absolute truth of beauty and the sublime. So let's get into... So one thing I've been struggling with, because I'm not in the dating scene, but I'm talking to a lot of women, I'm feeling myself out. And one thing I'm struggling with is the question, can this sublime and beauty be within a woman? Be a part of a woman? And I think yes. But we got to take it a step further. And what are the distinguishing factors of that beauty and sublime from something like sexiness, from something like allure, from something like cute, pretty, adorable, gorgeous? And thinking about it a little bit, and from the talks I've had with Ryan, go check out our podcast on his channel or mine. Ryan Reeds, great guy. I think a big difference one, these aspects I said, cute, gorgeous, all those, they're primarily physical, but they can also provide you with energy. Specifically, man, the masculine, or you, mainly men, can get energy and life from things that are people that are sexy, that are gorgeous, that are lovely. But I think that talking and thinking through it now, I think the difference between beauty and those other words is that one, beauty is beyond just the physical. It's almost like it's from within, stretching out through the physical appearance, beyond the physical appearance. But also, I think beauty and the sublime stretches, touches humans. I mean, every human. And I think when I say every human, I mean not just male, not just female, but all the human race. I think if you bring anyone to someone of beauty, they're going to feel that energy as well. They're going to feel that awe and reverence. And I think that's what beauty is. It's a part of what I'm writing about in my book about pathfinders and how they exude energy. It's another there's this concept in Wu Wei, in Eastern philosophy. Wu Wei is effortless action, and if you get into Wu Wei, this effortless action, you exude Di, which is energy, and people notice this energy and are drawn to that energy. And I think that's a part of beauty as well. I think David Foster Wallace's definition of leadership being someone who exudes a presence so strong that people are drawn to them is another type of energy and beauty. I think that's a big part of what I think that's what anime might be. I think beauty goes beyond the physical, but beauty is the listening of bringing about humanity's awe, humanity's wonder and love. So it's something that touches all of humanity, every human, and brings it out of them. Brings beauty, brings love, brings reverence, brings awe. I think another example of that would be the cathedrals in Europe. Whether you're religious or not, there's a certain awe and beauty to those structures that brings the awe and love and energy and feeling from within you out of you. And it's almost like if you do find a woman or a man who exerts this beautiful nature, it's almost like they have the essence of a cathedral within themselves that people can see. And and that's just beautiful. So I want to talk about more about beauty, so I'm actually going to write it down. Topics to talk about. Beauty. Yeah, beauty. Last thing I wanted to mention before I sign off is that moving forward, I'm going to try to be very careful about what I call beautiful and then what what I call beautiful, and making more of a distinction with women in particular on, for me, on saying pretty, gorgeous, sexy, adorable, cute, using these words that primarily revolve around physicality, but also some parts of their personality, using those instead of beauty or beautiful. Because I think beautiful, you transcend to another tier whenever you use that word for someone else. It's something that is beyond the physical aspect, beyond personality, and maybe beyond our explanation. And I think it needs to be reserved for very few instances and for very few people, whether it's a woman or a man. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do better at reserving that word so that whenever I tell it to someone, I know, and hopefully they know that it's something genuine and also something that is powerful. If you throw beauty or any word around enough, it dilutes the meaning. So hopefully I get into a habit of not using that word, of trying to use some of these other words to better explain my situation and how I'm feeling. So, other than that, I thought it was a good conversation. I always love talking to y'all. I'll see y'all Monday day.